Society trivializes this issue, and even some doctors blow it off as a normal, healthy part of an otherwise healthy relationship. Even the name itself implies that it's a harmless game that all couples play, and it's time we, as a society, take a step back and see this for what it really is. It is severe emotional abuse. People who love each other don't play games with each other, and they don't inflict pain on each other. It's a particularly cruel form of abuse because it does so much more than what meets the eye. It doesn't just break down communication and shut the person off, it destroys their entire meaning and purpose as a human being. And the person inflicting this abuse knows this. It's a form of abuse, and that has to be understood before you go any further with this video. The male human mind, when he's in love with a female, is geared toward fixing problems. His entire purpose and meaning in life is to make the female's life as easy and stress-free and comfortable as possible. Whether it's fixing financial problems, fixing the car, fixing something wrong with the house, their entire purpose is on solving problems. So whether you think it's right or wrong, it's just the way it is. It's in our genetic makeup. This is how men think. Keep her happy, keep her safe, keep her stress-free, keep a roof over her head, keep her sheltered. She'll be happy, she'll be secure, she'll never leave him. He'll have his security, he'll have his meaning and his purpose, and everything will be wonderful. They can go off and have 10 kids and 25 grandchildren, and everyone will be happy. It goes back to the caveman days. It's just the way it has always been, and it's the way it always will be. It's just the way society brings men up. It's what we've been taught. And it's not going to change. It's never going to change. It's just part of who we are. So a typical scenario would be he goes to work like he does every day. He comes home from work to find that she's upset about something. But she's completely shutting him off. She won't tell him what it is. It's obviously something he did. She's angry, and he doesn't know why, and she won't tell him. So now comes a process of him trying to figure out what he did wrong. So, was it something he said? Was it something he did? Was it something he didn't say? Was it something he forgot to do? Is it something important, or is it something trivial? Well, it must be important. She's really pissed, and she wouldn't act this way if it was trivial, would she? Was it something that happened today? Yesterday? Last week? 30 years ago, way before we met her? Is somebody spreading rumors? Did somebody see his car somewhere it wasn't supposed to be? What is going on here? It could be anything under the sun, and he can't fix it if he can't figure out what it is, and she won't even tell him what it is. So the next step is he goes back to the bedroom and tries to sit down and rationally talk with her, but she refuses to talk, and every time he tries to get her to talk and to try to communicate because he can't fix it if he doesn't know what it is, she starts to get more angry. And here's where it's apt to explode, get loud, get verbally violent, and result in her going to her mom's and leaving him there to figure it out. So when she leaves, now he's thinking, well, I must be stupid. To her, this is all very obvious. To me, this is the most difficult thing I've ever tried to do. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I am a bad spouse. Maybe I'm a bad provider. Maybe Maybe I'm ugly. Why does this woman suddenly hate me? She seemed to love me yesterday. Today she hates me. I did something wrong, and I'm too stupid to figure it out. They say it's done in the name of power and control, but that statement doesn't offer any solution or any kind of hope for a solution. Power and control over what? His misery? So, in the area where that statement would make perfect sense is in the area of abuse. So when he goes to her and says, "Honey, I can't figure this out. Let's sit down and talk about this rationally and calmly, and you tell me what's wrong, so we can both work together to overcome this and fix it." She's not hearing any of that. She's hearing, "Honey, relinquish your abuse on me and your power and control over me because it's abusing me." So she's hearing herself being called an abuser, and that's why she gets even louder and more mad when he asks her to communicate what's going on. And in the subject of dependency, they're a team. They depend on each other. This is what teams do. They depend on their teammates to win. They depend on each other to get through hard times, to enjoy the good times. They rely on each other and they trust each other to be there through thick and thin. This is what happy married couples do. They're dependent on each other. But this is often thrown on the man. And to say, well, the man does everything he does to get the woman dependent on him. It's just utter nonsense, and it's a result of ignorance. He's doing everything he does because he loves her and he wants to stay with her for the rest of his life and be a team with her. That's normal. That's healthy. But she sees it, or some women see it, as a man trying to get the woman dependent on him so she can't leave. And it's just utter ridiculous amateur psychology nonsense. The reason I said at the top of this video that she doesn't love him in this example that I'm giving is because people who love each other don't inflict pain on him. And if he is willing to sit down and work this out, and she is not, well, he's left in misery and torment trying to figure out how to fix it by himself. And she's relishing in her power and control to torment him. That is abuse. That is not love. Someone who abuses you cannot love you. Yep, as you may have guessed, I married someone like this. I married an abuser. And it was actually even way worse than this, because when I pushed for answers, when I tried to sit down with you, she got even more abusive, and she got physically violent. And she would break things and just snap. Just like Jekyll and I just completely, one minute she loved me, and the next minute, I mean, I am the biggest enemy she's ever had. And I went through all the process of trying to figure it out, trying to find patterns of it, and all this other stuff. And yeah, I saw, I made the same mistake every dumbass like me makes, and I gave her excuses. Throughout all of it, I would continue giving excuses. And I figured, well, it'll get better after we're married, because it'll prove to her that, she can be secure and comfortable and just enjoy all the things I was giving her. And like they say, it just gets worse after marriage, and it does. Don't, if you learn anything from this video, if you're not married yet, if you're in a relationship, like, don't marry. Or just know it's not going to get any better once you're married. Everybody understands why you think that. It doesn't get better after it gets worse. Now you can't just leave. Now they really have you where they want you. It goes back to that male genetic makeup. I'll fix everything. Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. And she came from, she came from a rough childhood, and her mom is abusive and obese, and she never really knew her dad, who was a drug addict, and just all this stuff. Um, and her own mother, is abusive. So it's like, well, I'm here, I'm the rescuer, I'm the savior, I'm the male. I will fix everything and make you happy. So intellectually, you would think that somebody who's been kicked around and treated so badly would welcome the opportunity to be in love and get swept off their feet by someone who's going to treat them right. But this is not what happens. What happens is they learn a pattern of abuse from the abusers. And this is how they function as human beings. They don't function as human beings, say, oh, thank God John came along. They function as abusers, and here's another victim for me to abuse. So, with each new attempt to communicate with her, the door is closed again in your face, and you go again through the process of trying to figure everything out on your own. And it gets more and more extreme. It's like, well, maybe she met somebody else. Maybe she's decided she wants a divorce. Maybe this, maybe that. It just, you never get an answer because she will not talk to you. And you come up with, like, guessing games, even while she's, like, screaming at you, calling you stupid. It's like, okay, I went to work. I even made you coffee before I went to work. And I come home with it. Did I make the coffee wrong? What? There's got to be some kind of reason that you hate me. To just tell me what it is, and I'll try to fix it. And it goes over and over and over again, and that results in an open door for her to continue the abuse. It's probably the most alone you're ever gonna feel. It's like watching your house burn down, and she has all the access to the water or anything that can put it out, and she won't let you have it. But what makes it worse is society's stigma on this whole misunderstood issue. It goes back to that, oh, it's just a little communication problem every couple deals with. No, every couple does not deal with this level of abuse. They don't. After about a half dozen years of dealing with this, something happened where I found this ability to shut it off, to shut my own mind off. And it wasn't that I stopped caring. It was, I found the survival mechanism, and just disconnected from the whole situation. Just to function, just to be able to get up and go to work and function. It got to points where there was just nothing left, and the only thing keeping me in it was the sex. As horrible as that sounds, it's the damn truth. I couldn't find one good thing about staying in this marriage, except the sex. The sex, becomes a problem with some couples. It was not a problem with us. We had a very powerful sex life. On the final time she left, which was 3 days before my birthday, it changed. She was playing the same old abusive game, and this time I wasn't trying to figure it out. This time, she left, and I wasn't calling her anymore. I wasn't trying to get inside her head or guess on what I did wrong. I knew I was being abused at that point. Call me stupid. It took me. I mean, I knew the whole time. You know the whole time. It's just something that you don't want to concede to. You don't want to acknowledge. You're always hoping it's going to get better or it's fixable. I think I just got to the point where I realized I couldn't fix it. And at that point, the abuse peaked. It took a couple of weeks until she realized that, it's just not working. And yeah, I started finding pictures of her online with other guys and stuff. And you would think that that would kill me. But it didn't. I actually felt sorry for the guys in the picture. I knew I could write their future. And yeah, sad is what it was, but it wasn't like tormenting anymore. I wasn't really suffering. I was alone, but I wasn't suffering. I think it dawned on me at some point that this can't continue without me involved in it. So that this horrible dysfunction and abuse cannot go on without me playing a role in my own abuse. So with that, there was nothing left to do. The most alone I've ever felt in my life was during serious relationships, and particularly this one. Pretty much the whole damn time I was stone cold alone. No matter who was around me, and no matter how great things were going, I always felt completely alone because you know the truth, and the truth sucked. So anyway, without harping on that, it was over. It was finally over. The moment she posted those pictures, that was it. It was over. So we wound up divorced, and she got remarried. Just a few months. The ink on the divorce paper wasn't even dry. She got married and went overseas, and that didn't last long. She wound up divorced from him. There's no doubt it's for the same reasons. And now she's on her third marriage somewhere in Europe. Just from what I hear, this might not be true, but she's an abusive person, and no matter who she marries, they're going to go through the same damn shit of being abused. But that, there's nothing I can do about that. It is what it is, I wish her. There's no hatred in my heart. It's just something that I wish I didn't waste my time on. I wasted a big chunk of my life trying to fix the unfixable. So there's no doubt that some people are going to get mad at me because they're going to take it as me saying that this is a form of abuse that only women use, and I'm not saying that at all. I have to use an example in this video, and the example I'm using is one of which happened to me, and I'm a male and she was a female abuser. Men do use this method of abuse, some of them, abusive men do. In the case of a woman doing it to a man, it's the raping of everything he deems to be himself, his value, his meaning, his purpose. He's here to fix things, and she's taking away everything he lives for. It's the raping of his soul. When a man does it to a woman, it's a little bit different because he's basically saying, shut up, what you say is irrelevant, you're stupid, you're just a bimbo, you're meaningless, you're unimportant, I can replace you tomorrow. Um, and that's hard. It's absolutely horrible, horrible, horrible form of abuse. It's just a little bit different, but it's the same. It's the same goal. It's abuse, and it's dreadful form of abuse. I know that there's women out here dealing with this, and I'm not saying that only men are dealing with this. So please don't misunderstand.